Yeah, sir.
Go ahead.
So today's journal club presentation is by me. I'm Govind Singh and I'm second PB PharmD. Mm, Next slide. So today's topic is about surgical antibiotic prophylaxis in tertiary care teaching hospital in India. That is the article. The publication details are like it was published in the journal, the International Journal of Infection Control, and publishing date was like 1st of October 2010. And this is the list of author HS, and these are the students of MBBS student, and with the Dr. Ashish Kumar Kakkad, who is the Department of Pharmacology in the Lady Hardinge Medical Care and SSK Hospital, New Delhi. So introduction, that surgical site infection is the most common post-operative complication and represent a significant burden in terms of like patient morbidity and mortality and the cost of health services around the world. So it is like estimated like 2 to 5% of the patient are undergoing clean extra abdominal surgeries, and up to 20% of the patient undergoing intra-abdominal procedure will develop surgical site infections. Like appropriate antibiotic prophylaxis has been shown to the effective in reducing in the incidence of surgical site infection. The selection of an appropriate antimicrobial agent depends upon the pathogen, which is mostly likely to cause an infection in the patients. Next slide, please. A single pre-operative antibiotic dose is sufficient for operations lasting up to 4 hours, and prolonged surgeries, however, further antibiotic doses may be needed to maintain the drug levels. The timing of the antibiotic prophylaxis is considered optimal if the administration is within 30 minutes prior to the incision. However, vancomycin or fluoroquinolones antibiotics should be given within 2 hours before the first surgical skin incisions. Some data suggests that nearly 30 to 50% of the antibiotics used in the hospital are prescribed for the surgical prophylaxis, especially, and 30 to 70 of the prophylaxis is inappropriate in the Hmm, hospitals. So inappropriate use of antibiotics is associated with the necessary increase in the cost of therapy and the emergence of drug resistance bacteria. So methodology, it's a prospective observational study. It was conducted in a Lady Hardinge Medical College and SMTSK Hospital, New Delhi, with the prior approval of the Institutional Review Board. Appropriateness of the pre-operative antibiotic prophylaxis was assessed as per the guidelines of Scottish Intercollegiate Guidelines Network and American Society of Health System Pharmacists. These guidelines provide the evidence-based recommendation to the practitioner for the rational use of prophylactic antimicrobials. The case selections, all the consecutive patients of any age undergoing surgery, like an elective or as well as emergency in the department of general surgery, orthopedics, gyno, obstetrics, ophthalmology, and otorhino, otorhinolaryngology were eligible for inclusion into the study. Only the patient with current infection prior to the surgery were excluded. So data were collected on a presented case record from which included information on the patient characteristics, surgical department under which admitted, type of operation, antimicrobial agents prescribed as well, pres- antimicrobial agents prescribed, as well as the route of administration and the timing of administration prior to the surgery. And the follow-up data included additional administrative once again, the follow-up data included additionally administered doses of antimicrobial agents, the total duration of prophylaxis, as well as the sign and symptoms of the surgical site infections. So, if more than one drug was prescribed for a single procedure, all parameters of the each drug was evaluated separately. A total number of 100, 51 male and 14 female patients were included in the study. So, mean age of the patient was like 32.86 plus minus 16 years. The great majority, like 80% of the patient had the elective procedure, while 20% were operated on the emergency basis. The investigator did not intervene in the patient's care in any ways. So about the results, in these studies, like all the patients undergoing hernia repair was prescribed preoperative antibiotics. Samir, there's someone in your something. All the patients undergoing hernia repair was prescribed preoperative antibiotics, most commonly this amoxiclav, and all patients undergoing cesarean section, like 12% of the total case, also received the preoperative antibiotics. As per SIGN and ASHP guidelines, prophylactic antimicrobials indicated in the 67 of the all cases, but were administered into the 86% of the patient, like being inappropriate in the 90% cases, especially in the clean surgeries. And total number of 162 antibiotics was prescribed in our study. The most frequently prescribed classes of the antibiotics were like cephalosporin 42%, and the followed by penicillins 34%. Like 15 different combination of antimicrobial drug were used. 28% of the patient received a single dose prophylaxis, while 35 patients, like 41% of the patient received two drug therapy, like, and the 16 patient received the three drugs, and one received the four drugs. That was cefotaxime plus metronidazole plus ampicillin plus gentamicin for prophylaxis. So no preoperative prophylactic antibiotic was prescribed in 14 out of 20 otorhinolaryngology cases. Fixed dose of combination of amoxicillin and clavulanic acid was most commonly prescribed single agent for the prophylaxis, 12% in the cases, followed by ciprofloxacin 8%, and then ampicillin 4%. Next, please. So this is a table about commonly prescribed single antimicrobial agents for the prophylaxis. So total 28 cases of the um, total 28 number of the cases were like given as a single antimicrobial agents. Uh, about the data which says is amoxiclav was given to the 12 cases, like which is 42% of the total cases. And then ciprofloxacin to the 8 cases, ampicillin for the 4 cases, ceftriaxone in the 3 cases, and cefotaxime in the 1 case. Next, please. So frequently used combination of antimicrobial agents for surgical prophylaxis, like two drug combination. First, the number of cases were like 41. In the 41 cases, two drug combination was given, like amoxiclav plus metronidazole in 8 cases, cefotaxime gentamicin, cefotraxone and metronidazole, cefotaxime and metronidazole, ciprofloxacin and metronidazole, ampicillin and metronidazole, amoxiclav and gentamicin, ceftriaxone and gentamicin, amoxicillin and gentamicin. Next, please. And then three drug combination was given, like cefotaxime, metronidazole, gentamicin, ciprofloxacin, metro and amoxiclav, penicillin, metronidazole and amikacin, ampicillin, amikacin and metronidazole, cefotaxime, metronidazole and gentamicin. And only in one case, the four drug combination was given, cefotaxime, ampicillin, gentamicin and metronidazole. So all preoperative antibiotics were administered by the intravenous route, except in the ocular surgeries where the oral and topical antimicrobials were prescribed. So mean time of administration of the prophylactic antibiotic was 3.22 hours, plus minus 1.03 hours prior to the surgery. Longest mean duration between drug administration and surgical skin incision was recorded for ampicillin, like 5 hours, and the shortest for the gentamicin, like 1.5 hours. The study patient received post-operative antibiotics for a mean duration of 5 days during their stay in the hospital, plus 6 days followed by the discharge from the ward. Few patients, like 12%, complained about the purulent discharge at the incision site, and surgical site infection was reported in 14% of the cases. The use of antimicrobials in all the cases was empirical, based upon the operating surgeon's clinical experience. One of the study patient who was prescribed combination of ampicillin, amikacin, and metronidazole experienced a nausea. No other ADR was reported in the study. In the discussion among the study participants, 58% received antimicrobial combination. The combination of antibiotics were used in all the surgical departments. and 17% of the patient received 3 or more drugs together. Although the use of 2 or more antimicrobials in combination may have certain rational and indiscriminate use can have severe negative consequences. Potential harmful aspects of such inappropriate antibiotic combination include as the emergence of resident bacteria, superinfection, the risk of toxic and allergic reactions, and the increased cost of therapies. Selection of the antibiotics was inappropriate on all the patient operated for the cesarean delivery and the gallstone diseases. None of the patient was received cefazolin as recommended by the ASHP guidelines. The 14 patient admitted under the otorhinolaryngology department who underwent a clean surgery and did not receive any antibiotic prophylaxis as recommended. Patient undergoing ophthalmic procedure received additional oral antibiotics while topical route is primarily made for of prophylaxis recommended in such patient. In our study, the third generation cephalosporins were prescribed almost the half of the patient who received preoperative antibiotics, which was inappropriate as per SIGN and ASHP guidelines. The conclusion, various measures are needed to be improved in the appropriateness of the prescription and adherence, include development of evidence-based guidelines in the collaboration with surgeon, increase outcome-based research to document the benefits of appropriate antibiotic use, continuing education to disseminate information to practitioners, survey of antibiotics, use of reassessment of prescribing practices over time and providing regular feedback, and organizing group education and the conscientious meeting. In our study, the post-operative antibiotics were administration for a mean duration of 5 days during the hospital stay and another 6 days following discharge, a period much longer than recommended. Even though the evidence from the literature fails to support the prolonged administration of antimicrobial agents in the hospital, used beyond 24 hours is common. This longer courses of the antibiotics are falsely believed to be a good preventive measures against surgical site infections. So thank you guys. That's all.
So, Govind, were you present in the last journal club?
Sir,
Saturday?
this is my first journal club, sir. Actually,
No. Last journal club, Saturday we
yeah,
had.
yes, sir.
So, were you there?
No, sir, I was absent there, sir.
You're absent, huh? Hello?
Yes, sir.
You're
Yes, sir.
absent Saturday.
I think, sir. Yeah, I was there in Shrikant's and Gayatri's. Who presented Saturday? Gayatri presented, na, sir. Yeah, I was there, sir.
That's what I'm asking you. Were you there? Had I given some comment, some suggestion how to do journal club? Had I taught you people?
No, sir.
In the last
Actually, I
class?
started early na, in the journal club, but due to some internet connection, I have to leave it in the mid, sir.
No, I'm asking you, did you get my point last week
No,
when
sir. No,
last
sir.
class
I didn't.
when I had told how to do journal club presentation, what way you can improve, all those things, do you remember?
No, sir. I didn't heard anything of that.
Other student? Other student have heard or not? Govind is telling he hadn't heard anything from me last class, last journal club.
We have heard, sir. Like you gave some idea like how to present.
And how Govind didn't heard?
So
Network
actually,
issue, Govind?
due to some, yes, sir, due to some network issue, I went out in the mid, sir.
See, that means I don't know if you people are not following instructions. If you people don't want to improve, we cannot do anything. Okay, then our job is to tell you people have to follow it. Okay, if you people are not willing to improve, why should